Good morning, it's Joyful Hermit, and I want to talk a little bit about the order of the present moment. Part of the reason for this discussion is because of recent communications with someone who was upset and overwhelmed feeling because the plans the person had for the future weren't falling into place, all that the person wanted to get accomplished, and even in a day wasn't able to accomplish the projects that the person wanted to accomplish, and paperwork or whatever, and then had other things the person wanted to be doing instead, and was frustrated because doctors weren't calling back with information that the person needed to fill out forms, and on and on. And it was very, very distressful, very upsetting and unnerving to the person. And it reminded me, and I did write back about the order of the present moment. And with the passing of my dear spiritual Da on St. Patrick's Day, many memories have flooded my mind and heart. And one of them was the order of the present moment and how I was told that I was in that order. It was on March 19th of 1996, and I was in a chapel of a convent for Mass, and my spiritual Da was the celebrant, and because of my back trouble, I had this little spot on the floor off to the right, but just practically beside the tabernacle. It was wonderful, my favorite spot. And he was in front of me, up at the altar, and preaching, and getting ready to celebrate, consecrate the host. And in my mind came this, just this thought that I asked the Lord, because I had so yearned to have a place. And I said, can I ever have an order? And the answer immediately came back, this voice saying, you are in the order of the present moment. And I remember exactly what I was wearing that day. These things just stick with you, vivid, and with clarity. And I said, well, what's the habit I should be wearing in that order? And immediately the response was, whatever you happen to be wearing in the present moment. And that was it. It was just so profound and so actual, clear, lucid. So, and I was really, uplifted in a different aspect because I knew that was my order, the order of the present moment. And of course, it was a feast of St. Joseph, Solemnity of St. Joseph, and I went home. My son was at school, my daughter's off to college, and was busying about the day, doing whatever, and doing some spiritual reading and various other things. And so toward evening, as I was preparing dinner, and my son had gotten home, was working on his homework, the thought came to me, well, most orders have like a patron. St. Francis de Sales or Teresa of Avila, or, etc. So St. Bernard of Clairvaux. So I said, well, who's the patron of the order of the present moment? It's all in thought flashes in my head, communicating with the Holy Spirit. And immediately the response was, St. Joseph is the patron. So this past Tuesday was St. Joseph's Day, and also the day of the wake of my spiritual Da. I wasn't able to be there physically, which was all for the best anyway, to remain hidden in my hermit life, hidden and anonymous. But I was there in spirit, and I remembered all this, and I also thought what a marvelous day for his wake, the order of the present moment day. And anyway, I just want to explain that we really should not be frustrated or overwhelmed we can make our little plans for our duties that we have. Like today, I'm hoping and planning to start accumulating all my receipts and information to get my tax papers ready. It's past due time, and it's going to be extra difficult this year from having moved. I have lots of like 5.5 years of receipts and some research to do on expenses in my previous hermitage. But these are our temporal duties. Hermits have to be responsible for that. But already this morning, in what I had thought might happen, because I had an appointment with a lead priest in the new parish where I'm registered, and a totally unexpected response from him that has sort of thrown me off. As far as he was very accepting and understanding and wanted to definitely do opposite with me as to what the associate priest had recommended by having someone bring communion to my hermitage and me not be at Mass because of a mystical state or ecstasy that goes on during Mass. But anyway, I'll do what this lead priest asks, although I'm suspecting it might not happen. I'm thinking, because I'll be in another room where the Eucharist is not during Mass. So at least he says, well, we'll find out, what are the elements of this ecstasy or trance, altered state, Yet I'm concerned if it does occur. And also, I keep praying that it would be taken away. It's been over 10 years, but this priest said, well, Teresa of Avila had it for years and years. It wasn't till much, much later, near her death, that it went away. So, but I was totally taken back. That was not in my plans for what he would say. I thought it would be a quick, yes, we'll do that. He didn't particularly like that it had been used as my back as the reason, because that wasn't really the truth. But anyway, I'll be obedient. Sometimes people ask with the 3 Evangelical Counsels of a Hermit, who are you obedient to? Well, God, most of all, your spiritual father, which now mine is over in Nigeria and will be difficult to be in contact because their internet is sketchy at times, but also obedient to the parish priest. So we'll see how that goes, but it's already thrown off. Sometimes the order of the present moment means being very present to his real presence within ourselves and not allowing ourselves to be thrown off, such as I was rattled for a while here this morning. And really, don't have even my spiritual dad to write to, even that was hard for him to write back. But I have him now on the other side to sort of talk this over. Now, he didn't have me go to Mass where he was, but he knew it would be too much of a disturbance for some of the sisters who were a little bit gone off the deep end, sort of in a little bit New Age and that sort of thing. So I wasn't their cup of tea. I tend to be straight as an arrow kind of person, and very traditional and orthodox with the church, despite the altered plans that this ecstasy has caused, or the different situations that it has caused. So we have to flow in the order of the present moment, and yes, make a general outline. The Lord knows. Say, Lord, I need to get these tax papers done, or cook the meals, or pick up the kids, or fill out all this paperwork for a husband's disability or something. But we should never be set in the temporal, or set, because the order of the present moment is a spiritual order, and it's one in which we all are in. And there's no need to be wearing any special habit in the order of the present moment. Wear what you have. And trust in St. Joseph also. He's the patron of this order. And he certainly, of anyone, had to go with the flow. He had his ideas of marrying the Virgin Mary, had no idea what the Holy Spirit was doing until he had a dream. He was readying to file, to quietly divorce her, to spare her from the horrible treatment she would get, when he had a dream telling him, no, don't do that. Take her into your home. She is with child by the power of the Holy Spirit. So not only did he have to have incredible faith and trust and innate discernment of his dream in order to act on it, but he had to really, in the temporal realm, go with the order of the present moment. Not what he had in mind or what the rest of the world, the temporal world, thought was right or proper. Anyway, consider these things, all you members of the Order of the Present Moment. Thank you, St. Joseph, for your guidance and mentorship as we make our way through our days and our nights here on earth. God bless his real presence in you.